They might be able to hook you up a little bit. I got no pull anymore. They canceled the series. They won't even let me on the set.
Hi,
how you doing, buddy?
When your character was returned back to the series, were you like happy or were you just sad, or like were you like, oh man, I'm gonna get bossed around again?
When the character returned back to
the series, like in season 4, season 5.
So when Carson came back?
Yeah, Carson came back.
I was very happy to come back because I think, I missed a lot of my castmates, and I think it was kind of interesting how they brought me back. I think how they brought me back was a little bit better than how they killed me. The exploding tumor. I think a lot of fans were really happy with that. So to be able to come back and have that heavy episode in the Kindred Part 2, I thought was fitting for for a lot of the fans that really enjoyed the character. And I think Carson was with the show from the start, so it kind of felt right for him to be back. And I think if it would have went to season 6, you might have seen more of Carson more often too. But that remains to be seen. We'll see. But it was cool to be back. Hi.
Hey, Dan. I was wondering this. I know this isn't really your area of expertise, but do you happen to know?
Are we talking about the Daedalus variations again? Is that what
no, don't worry. But do you happen to know what the name of the voice alteration they use for the Wraith is? I know that for the Gould it's called a flange, but I don't know what they call it for the Wraith.
Security! No, I really don't know. I know what you're talking about though, but I really don't know how they do that, or who they do that with, but it is kind of cool. Chris Heyerdahl, he's not here, he's the other one, he would know, but he's not here. Maybe Joe or Jason might know. Those guys. But that's a good question. I have no idea, but they do a cool job with it. I just did, speaking of that, the same people that do, a show called Sanctuary? Have you guys seen that show? Woo! Sanctuary, yes. So I am reoccurring on that show now. At the end of this season, my character comes in, I'm like a lizard type character. And he's not very nice, but same prosthetic people that do the Wraith. So it's kind of a creepy looking thing with contact, and I think they alter my voice as well in that, from what I've heard. Oh, there's Sanctuary right here. This is Sanctuary right now. Season 2 is just starting. The beautiful Amanda Tapping, there's Chris Heyerdahl in there, and the rest of the gang. It's a really cool show. Martin Wood, Damien Kindler, and Amanda produce it. And they do some fantastic job. It's a lot of green screen, cool creatures and stuff. So I'm excited to see it this season. I think they really worked hard at making it a really solid show. And I think it's going to do very well. What do we got?
Hi, I'm a huge fan. I was just wondering, were you in SG1?
Was I in SG1? Yeah. Well, thanks for being a big fan. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. I was in SG1. I was in an episode called Torment of Tantalus in season 1, I believe. And I played young Ernest Littlefield, who, a little Stargate fact, was the first person to go through the Stargate. And that's why, it's funny because in Vancouver, when Stargate first came out, and a lot of people would be on the show, and then the next season or 2 seasons later, they'd be on as a different character and stuff. And I said to my agent, I go, what happened? Did I do a bad job? How come I can't get a different role on it? And then when Atlantis came out and they had me come in and read for Atlantis, I talked to Martin Wood, who's directing. I go, I have a question for you, Martin. He's like, what? I go, I only did that one episode, and I wonder why you guys never brought me back, and I'm really happy to be on the show on a more regular basis on the spin-off. But he goes, Paul, he goes, you have no idea of the fan base this show has, and people will know you're playing Ernest Littlefield, the first person to go through the Stargate. I'm like, really? Has it got a big fan base? He goes, you'll see. And I did. It was like also a similar question when I had a little spot on Star Trek. Chris Pine, who plays Kirk on the show, he's like, Paul, you were on Sci-Fi, right? I said, yeah, I'm on Stargate. He goes, do you ever go to those conventions and stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, oh God, I wonder if I'll be going to those. I'm like, dude, you're Kirk. I'm sure he knows now what I was talking about. It was kind of like, I'm like, you'll see. It's very, very fun.
Hi, I just want to say that I think you're a pretty awesome guy. You do know that you're the most popular person here. Everyone's been talking about, who's from here from Stargate, and everyone's been saying awesome things about you. So,
aren't you a sexy, sexy lady?
Thank you.
Now you've got me blushing up here on stage.
Actually,
Well, that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
I was talking to you on Friday night, and you said you just finished a movie with Val Kilmer. I just wanted to hear all about that.
I just finished a movie with Val Kilmer. Do you know Val Kilmer?
Yeah, and you're
Batman, yeah. Yeah, a horror movie. I just finished it the day before we came out here. It's called Nobody. It's kind of an interesting script. It's scary. I don't actually, I'll never go see a horror movie because I get scared. And my brother loves horror movies, so he's like, "You're actually in a horror movie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You watch it?" I said, "Well, I can probably watch it because I know what's going to happen because I'm in it. But normally I just don't go to them." But it was pretty scary. It depends how it's all cut. It's there's only like 6 people in the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I die last. Oh, whatever, you know. Anyway, that was kind of cool to do that and work on that. And I did another independent movie at the same time with a friend of mine called Michelle Harrison called Hit and Strong, which will hopefully hit the festival market next year. And I think that they're trying to go for a Halloween release next year on that movie, I believe. You know, you never know. All you can do is shoot it and then see what happens. You know, hopefully it comes out good. We'll see. And then hopefully Sanctuary gets picked up and we'll see a bit more of the character. His name's Wexford in it. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for your nice comments. I appreciate that. It's easy to be nice here. Where are you? Oh, hi.
Hi. I saw you on Supernatural the other day, and I think that they filmed next door to Stargate Atlantis. They don't?
You could I'll go. Say more.
What was it like being a guest star on that show?
Oh, great. Those guys, Jared and Jensen, the 2 guys from Supernatural. Do you guys watch that show? Yeah. They're super nice guys. Really nice. Jared is like Jason Momoa's size, and the other guys are big. They're really big dudes, you know, and really nice. They don't shoot, and they have a different studio. It's quite a ways away from Bridge Studios, but they're sort of maybe 10 kilometers away, their studio. They have a very nice studio. Very nice to be on the show. I'd never read for the show before. Paris Hilton was in the same episode. I didn't have any scenes with her, but she did get her head chopped off, I believe. Big fans of Paris, are you? But apparently it's quite funny. I didn't have a chance to see it because I was traveling, so someone recorded it for me, so I'll take a look at it. But my friend gets his head chopped off sort of in half in it. Well, I don't, which is good for a change. Thanks. Hi.
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 So it was really amazing when I found out that you just were American and you were Scottish. How did you...
I'm Canadian, love, for God's sakes. Are you Australian? I'm just teasing you, sweetheart. Oh, no, that's fine.
How did you learn that? Like, how did you learn your Scottish accent?
Well, I was born in Scotland, but I was only a wee baby when it came out. And I'm born in Scotland, but I'm a Canadian citizen. But then when I was 12, my mom and dad... Yeah, exactly. You're sort of half right. When I was 12, I moved back until I was 16 with my mom and dad. So I have a good ear for the accent a little bit, you know. And I also said to myself, I want to make sure that most Scottish people think I'm Scottish. And actually, the first time I did a convention in Scotland, a small one, and I was on a tour with Terrell Rothery, and yeah, she's awesome, and a bunch of other actors. Don Davis, I believe, was there. The late Don Davis, God rest his soul, you know, great guy. And then we went to Germany. And then we were going to Scotland, and a lot of it was to do with my character, right? And I was the last one up, and you know the Scots, you know, they're into a few pints, so to speak, you know, and they had their kilts on, and were, "Where's Carson?" And I thought to myself, I'm not going to be the actor that pretends I always talk with a Scottish accent because that's just not who I am. So I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I went out in Glasgow, and I found a Scotland scarf, and I took it and I put it under my arm inside my jacket. And I came out, you know, and they introduced me, and they're like, Carson, you know, so I get on the stage, and they're all clapping and stuff, and I get up there, and they're like, I start talking like this, and I can hear all I hear is like, what the hell's going on, you know, and out from the crowd, one guy's like, hey, mate, where's your bloody accent? And I pulled a Scotland scarf out and put it over my head, I'm like, right bloody here, mate, end of story. And like, woo! So I'm happy that Scottish people, you know, look at me as, okay, he's Scottish right away. They're surprised when I talk like this. But a lot of people are. You know who Alice Cooper is? A really super nice guy. I was at a convention in Toronto, and he came up to me and he said, I was sitting in the green room, and you know, I know who Alice Cooper is. He's got a very distinct look, right? So he comes into the green room, and I'm kind of by myself waiting to be called to go do a talk or something, and he kind of makes a beeline for me. He's with a bunch of people, and he goes, Paul McGillion. And I'm like, yeah, you like this? And he goes, big fan of the show. I said, oh, thank you. You know, really cool. He goes, whoa, where's your accent? And I said, well, I don't normally speak with a Scottish accent. I'm Scottish, but I don't have a Scottish accent all the time. I just do it for the show. He goes, oh man, you're freaking me out. I said, no, you're freaking me out. So that was kind of neat.